Live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Tuesday, so that can only mean one thing, which is show number 318 of On Air with Russell of Hotels. You know that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about? Well, if they weren't talking about it, they're talking about it now. Okay, so anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I did say happy Tuesday, right? So today is November 11th, countdown to the holidays, I guess that's a good thing, right? Holidays gonna be a little different this year for me, but that's okay, right? We just continue to, keep it moving, right? That's all we can do. But hey, did you guys check out yesterday's daily check-in that I do? I do normally do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Well, yesterday on Monday, I always have Miss Tiffany English on there, right? And she talked about her experience at this one particular resort in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is called Unico, which is part of the AIC hotel group. And AIC, we found out what that stood for and what it stands for. All inclusive, all inclusive. Oh, I guess all inclusive club, all inclusive company of hotels, something like that. But basically, all I had it right here too. I had it right here, and I was like, "What did I do with it?" But it's basically all inclusive hotels. Okay, so all their hotels, for the most part, I know the international ones are all inclusive, which includes Unico, includes the all inclusive Hard Rock hotels, which a lot of people have heard of, but not all Hard Rocks are all inclusive. Only the ones that are owned and managed by AIC. So there you go. So anyway, this is the monologue section of the show. So I'm trying to get things fine tuned before I get the show started. So I'm just actually making sure my sound is right, letting you know that we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, so feel free to make your comments, say, hey, what's going on? I'm still getting used to this new platform called Restream, and a lot of people have heard of it. They use it, similar to how I use it. But I don't like the visual, the graphics behind it, right? So I can't, like, on the other platform that I use, you can, if there's like some cloudiness, you can basically click this and turn this and it'll go away, right? It'll smooth things out. But on this one, I can see this kind of distorted, or I'm distorted, but maybe I'm distorted anyway. So anyway, whatever. So we can't even worry about that at this point. So once again, this is show number 318. Yes, I've done 318 of these shows and counting, right? Ain't no stopping us now. So we're gonna continue to do it as long as I can, because it's all about letting people know what you do. First of all, who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, right? So always make sure you answer those questions or have those questions ready when someone asks, well, hey, what do you do? Okay, so I'm Russell of Hotels, right? That's who I am. What I do hotel site selection, but I also do visual, I guess I elevate hotel brands or hospitality brands like hotels, or DMOs, DMCs, whatever, anything within the hospitality um, industry. My job is to elevate those brands, create that visibility. Just so I happen to be, well, this photo in back of me is Knoxville, Tennessee, which is a destination, right? I had never been there before. So I, took a lot of photos, took a lot of video. And of course, when I get an opportunity, I always showcase, where I've been or where I am currently. And I will never do a show where I'm not highlighting or showcasing a hotel or a destination. Okay, so this is actually not the destination I'm going to be highlighting today, Knoxville, but I took this photo, right? I thought it was kind of cool today. Got my jean jacket on today. I'm not, looking for a fashion show or anything like that. But you know what I wanted to show today? That you can show up how you want to show up on social media, right? If that's what you want to do, right? It's all about just showing up, and if you create good content, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it doesn't matter what's going on, no matter how you look, who you are, whatever. It may matter who you are, but we always like, oh, we gotta look perfect. Oh, I gotta buy this. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, that has to look good. This has to sound good. You know what? If the content is there, just do it. Okay. Just go with it. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to, not that I'm really dressed down today. It's just that I don't, if you knew what I had on the bottom, you would like, I'm dressed up compared to what I got on the bottom. So, but you can't see that. But anyway, feel free to make your comments. The chat is open. In fact, let me see. Boom. Yeah, chat's open. So feel free to make your comments if that's what you want to do. I normally have, like I said, this is the monologue. Then we get into the meat of the show. Show's not gonna last that long today. I think yesterday with Tiffany, I think we did over an hour, right? But she was talking about her experience with this fam trip that she attended. A fam trip is meant to familiarize you with a particular destination or a hotel, or in this case, maybe both things. The destination, which was Puerto Vallarta, the hotel, which is the Unico Hotel, and I just mentioned who that was owned and managed by. So feel free to go back. It's on LinkedIn. It's on YouTube. So feel free to go back and look at the replay of that because it's still there. And she got into some great detail about her stay, and because we look at it from a different perspective, right? So some people will go to a hotel and they look at it from a perspective for an individual, maybe your family, maybe, I'll get one room, maybe two rooms or whatever. Well, we look at it from a perspective of potential groups that may be interested in there. The group is 10 rooms or more, 10 sleeping rooms or more on a peak night, right? So it can go from 10 rooms and go to 1,000 rooms, whatever the heck it is, right? So that's how we look at things. So we look at things a little different. We're looking at, dinners for 100 people or so instead of maybe just a dinner for, your spouse and yourself. You know what I mean? So it's multiple people, it's groups, it's groups that may be incentive groups from companies or company groups, corporate groups, association, whatever the case may be. That's the perspective that we're looking at it from. So it's not just the individual, although we may go and experience it individually, right? But we're looking at it. The big picture is we need to make sure this is a viable option for a group, for one of my clients that's looking for something in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So there you go. So just a little inside on that. So anyway, let's get this thing started. Let's, do the intro. Let me cue that up. Hopefully I got it right today. Yesterday I kind of didn't have it up, but I just hit the wrong button. So there you go. So we're going to do a quick intro. I'm going to come back. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Who said that? Who used to say that? Maybe I'm dating myself. Remember Love Connection back in the day with Chuck Woolery? And it's funny how I just bring these shows up, these old shows, and remember the name of the host. But he would say when they go to commercial break, he would say, we'll be back in 2 and 2. He would do that. So that's what I'm doing. Shout out to Chuck Woolery, 2 and 2. So we'll be right back. Hey, once again, thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show everyone's talking about. Is show number 318. Yeah, you know what? I always have to pinch myself when I say the number of the show, right? 318. But anyway, man, I just have to just take a pause for a minute. But I appreciate everyone that has supported me over the years. Started back in 2019. With show number 1, right? At LA Talk Radio. That's where I did it. It was 100% audio podcast. That's your traditional podcast right now with the advent of Facebook Live and all these other different platforms, because Facebook Live was the first one. And I remember when Facebook Live came out because I was still at LA Talk Radio. And then I remember going into the show, he said, Sam, who owned the station, says, hey, do you want to do a video thing? I'm like, what are you talking about? Facebook Live. And I'm like, I didn't even know what Facebook Live was. I think it was on my phone, but I never used it. So that's how it all started. And it became a more of a digital or visual platform. I mean, you still got the audio, of course. You have to be able to hear people, but now you can have that visual effect. Now you see what people look like. And that's what it's all about, right? It's being visible. Okay. So I'm going to talk about visibility in a couple of minutes, right? Because that's kind of a good segue, Russell. I didn't even realize that, but it's a good segue into the topic for today. And I changed my camera around. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that. I changed the camera to a different angle. So you got a maybe more of a wide, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I'll know when I go back and look at this. Like maybe the headshot is better than the entire, you can see how, but you can see how solid I am, right? You can see, like, dang, that Russell, he's in some good shape, right? That dude is, hey, anyway. Anyway, let's get this started. Okay, like I said, I never show one or never do one of these shows without showcasing the hotel, right? So today is, I want to say it's the Pasadena Courtyard. Now, see, the Courtyard by Marriott in Pasadena, California. The Rose Bowl, Rose Parade, that stuff is coming up, just in case you didn't know. So shout out to them, getting ready for the holidays and the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl and all that. And I'm sure they're getting busy and I'm sure the rates are going up. So if you haven't booked in Pasadena yet and you're going to the Rose Parade or going to the Rose Bowl and you need a guest room, sleeping room, you need to make sure you book immediately because those rates will be going up. Yeah. If they're not up already, and they should be up already, but just in case you didn't know, just in case you had not taken care of that, you need to do it now. Okay. So, but yeah, so what I'm going to do is start showing you a little bit of that hotel. And then, but you won't be able to see me. You'll be able to hear me, but you won't be able to see me. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I'm going to disappear. Oh, maybe I'm not. Let's see. Did I do something wrong? Did I do that? Okay. So Pasadena Courtyard by Marriott. A little step and repeat action right there. You know what? I've been thinking about getting a step and repeat for myself. Are those things expensive? I haven't really priced them out, but I need to get a step and repeat for myself. Just have a bunch of Russell of hotels on there, right? You can see my logo at the top. Maybe so. I don't know. Hey, feel free to make comments if that's what you want to do. So that was a step and repeat before. This is the bar area. You notice there's no people there because I was there when there's no people there. Okay, that's why, right? And it's not a professional photo shoot. I took it when I was there. I took these pictures when I was there. I was making the Courtyard by Marriott, Pasadena Old Town, my office of the day, right? So when I'm there, it's during the day, and normally the bar is not open during like noon or whatever. So that's why there's no people there, just in case you were wondering, like, how is he taking pictures with no people there? But yeah, that's the bar. The bar wasn't open at that point, but that's what it looks like. So guest room number 314 guest room. So it's actually a sizable Courtyard by Marriott. And it's not your typical, right? It's the decor is different. The design is different. It's located in Old Town, Pasadena, 5,548 square feet of meeting space. I think I do have a photo of that. This is one of the guest rooms. This one is actually on the first floor. So, how do I know it's on the first floor? Because you can see the patio right there, right? See, right there. There's trees right there. So anyway, that's that. That's the lobby, part of the lobby. The lobby is pretty big, pretty spacious. So I'm kind of posted up in one particular area of the lobby where no one's bothering me. That's what you want. You want to be unbothered. There's another part, and in fact, there's a gentleman right there, so you know that the hotel's open because there's someone there. Okay, so once again, this is a Courtyard by Marriott, Pasadena Old Town. This is one of their meeting spaces. I think this is the largest one. As you can see, there's dividers right there, so that actually this room probably divides into at least two spaces or two separate rooms. So, and that's set up for rounds of what, about 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, rounds of 8. There you go. In the pool area, small pool area. But if you want to get your splash on, you go right ahead and do that. And then this is in the lobby as well. But if you had like an impromptu meeting, say you had like 7 people you needed to meet with before that, before you met with your company the next day, you can do that here, right? So you can do that. You can just take over this table and chair area and just kind of just do your thing, right? So no, it's actually a nice, very nice hotel. Let me just click so you can see me now. Very nice hotel, but like I said, it's not your typical courtyard. The lobby area is probably a little bit more spacious than your typical cookie cutter courtyard. Because you remember back in the day, a lot of the courtyards were all the same. They're all cookie cutter. But then when management companies came in and Marriott stopped building so many Courtyard by Marriotts, then other hotels were taken over, and they converted into Courtyard by Marriotts. So that's how you see the different layouts of courtyards now because of that. And a lot of hotels have done that, right? So, back in the day, you remember, like, was it Embassy Suites that had the atrium style hotel? Was it Embassy Suites or DoubleTree? I think it was Embassy Suites. They had the atrium style hotels. Well, now you don't see so many of those hotels. You see other ones that have been converted to be Embassy Suites. But if you see one that's an atrium, meaning you walk in and it's kind of atrium in the middle and you can see the rooms, you just look up and you see the rooms, right? That's an old style Embassy Suites. They don't make them like that anymore. So just in case you want to know, I don't know why I came up with that when I pulled that out of my butt, but I just was thinking about that for whatever reason. I don't know why. I was just thinking about that. So anyway, today I posted something. It may have been yesterday. No, I think it was today. So I posted something. I posted a kind of a what was it? What would you say it was? It was a quote. I posted a quote, okay? And basically I'll read the quote because that's part of what the topic is about. So you see the topic, it says, if I were back on property as a sales professional, okay? So I guess that's the name of the quote. If I was back on property as a sales professional, I'd be more visible. I'd show up on social media, highlight my hotel daily, and let people see the story behind the brand. Visibility builds familiarity, and familiarity creates opportunity. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about today, real quick, real briefly, because you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it. But that's one thing I always talk about is visibility and why visibility is important when it comes to showcasing your hotel or showing off your hotel, right? Because that's what we should be doing as sales professionals, even as like general managers. I don't see GMs getting involved in this is the marketing piece of it. It's not selling. This is marketing. This is something that that has that substance in it that people will remember. Okay, so those are things that you want. You want people to come back, or you want people to come, to try it, initially because they saw you because you're passionate about it, right? So if I was back on the property, man, you get tired of seeing me on social media. You're probably tired of seeing me now, right? That's because I've taken this company, Russell of Hotels, to that level of if I was still on property. Okay. So I'm like, this is something I didn't do and something that I learned later on, right? Is that there's power in social media. I mean, I know that there's a bunch of stuff that's out there. There's a bunch of crap that's out. Okay, we know that. Okay, we know that. But does that stop you from doing what you're supposed to do? Does that stop you from marketing? Does that stop you from social media being a strategic plan in your marketing plan? I want to see someone's marketing plan that says, I'm going to be more visual on social media, or I'm going to use social media to be more visual. And you have steps to do that. I want to see that. Has anyone done that? Anyone give me a comment here? Anyone that's in sales in a hotel or even a DMO, that can tell me, that can show me, are you using a green screen? No, I'm not. Hey, Marsha, how are you? No, I'm not using a green screen, and um, it wouldn't matter because it's supposed to be a built-in green screen. Just to answer your question, it's supposed to be a built-in green screen, but it's not. And that's why I don't know if you're asking that because maybe it's a little distorted or something. I'm not sure, but feel free to let me know what you're talking about. What you talking about? She's asking me, and Marsha's my sister. Okay, so thank you so much, sister, for coming on. So just like Marsha made a comment and your comments are on the screen, it's the same thing I would do for anyone else, right? So she's asking me if I'm using a green screen. Um, no, I'm not. And it doesn't really call for one. And she's on YouTube. So feel free, if you're on YouTube, to come on. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. And it's called Russell of Hotels. Just do that. And anytime I go live, you get a notification. And that's what it's all about, right? You need to know when I'm going live. Okay. So there you go. So like I said, I'm posting, I'll put everything that comes up on the screen. So feel free to, like I said, make your comments. But good question. Thank you so much. And no, I'm not, because it doesn't call for one. But and it anyway, there's a whole story behind all this. Okay. But anyway, so okay, I think that's enough on that one. So okay. So getting back to what I was talking about. In fact, let me go back. So okay, so what I would do if I was on property. What I would do if I was on property. Number one is be visible. Be more visible. Be more visible than you ever been, right? Because you are the brand. See, a lot of people don't think, they think, oh, it's the brand is the hotel that I work for. No, you're the brand. The people are going to buy, they're going to buy you before they get to the brand. Now, I've mentioned this before, and some people get it, some people don't. But the more I talk about it, the more I think people will get it. They start to understand, like, okay, I understand now. I am the brand. I'm the brand that brings people in. The hotel doesn't bring people in because the hotel doesn't talk to people. Hotel's not calling people. They're not emailing you. Okay, you may be emailing people or calling people from the hotel, but ask the hotel to do that for you and see what's going to happen. Hotel's not going to do it. Hotel can't do it. Hotel's not a person. Hotel's a building. Okay, so do I have to make it? I got to make it as easy and simple as possible, because I don't think people get it that you are the brand. People buy you before they before they even interested or know anything about your hotel or your destination. Okay, so visibility is strategy. It's not by accident that people see your content. Okay, it's not by accident that people see this. Okay, I do something Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, it's called a daily check-in. Then on Tuesday, I do this thing called On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is this right here. So it's 5 days a week that I do, because that's part of the strategy. That's not something, it's not happenstance that you happen to see me today. Okay. I do it every single week, 5 days a week. I'm doing something. So thank you for, joining and seeing me. Okay. Let's see. Do I have another comment? Let's see. Oh, you're wondering if that was an issue. Well, no. I wish it was that easy. No, it's not that easy. It's the system that I'm using. It's the platform that I'm using that will cause some distortion. I haven't figured that out yet, and I have used a green screen to see if that's going to take it out, but it still hasn't done it. So, but anyway, thanks anyway. So let's get back to it. So maybe I'll stop moving as much, and then it won't be as distorted. I don't know. Let's see can I move my head back here? Is it getting away from the camera, of the light? Get away from the light. Okay, so that was number one. Number one, once again, be visible because you are the brand. Visibility is strategy. It's not by accident that people see your content. I'd show up daily on LinkedIn, Instagram, and in person. As a salesperson, as a sales professional, you represent your hotel story, the energy and culture. If people don't see you, they won't remember your brand. Let me say that one more time. If people don't see you, they won't remember your brand. There you go. So be visible. That's exactly why I do what I do. I do this 5 days a week. I already said that. I don't have to keep saying it, but it's important that you show up, right? Just like you show up to work. Well, this is part of your job, right? This is called marketing. Okay, it's called branding. You have to do it in order for people to know the story, to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. There you go. Because the hotel can't do it. You have to do it on behalf of your hotel. The destination can't do it. You have to do it on behalf of your destination. That DMC that you work for, You have to do it on behalf of your DMC. What about that restaurant you want people to come to? It's that vegan spot, right? You want people to get there. You have to be the one out there in the streets letting people know about your vegan restaurant, whatever it is. I remember I'm all about hospitality, right? So everything I talk about, everything I do is 100% about hospitality. So all the things I just mentioned, that's hospitality brands, right? So there you go. So number two, what's number two? Tell the story behind the hotel. Every hotel has a story. The question is, are you telling it? I'd share moments that share the hotel's personality, the team, the guests, and the experiences that make it memorable. Storytelling turns buildings into brands and guests into ambassadors. Like if your hotel used to be, it's like built in the 20s and used to be a bank. Okay, because there's one downtown, I want to say it's the Hotel Per LA, downtown LA. It used to be the Bank of Italy back in the day. It was built in the 20s and it has so much character and so much charm. And it's just a great place, right? But tell the story. I only knew that because I read on it. I read up on it, right? But I met with salespeople. They don't even mention that. That'd be the story I'm telling. Oh, this used to be the bank vault. Okay. The restrooms downstairs, that's the old bank vault. I mean, those are the things that you would tell people, right? Those are things that you would tell them and how it was used and what was this used for and things like that. I mean, those are the things that I would showcase on that hotel because it has a lot of character. It's been around a long time. It's built in the 20s. Okay, there's not a lot of buildings that are hotels that they've converted into hotels. They were built in the 20s. So why not talk about it? Why not showcase it? So those are things that I would do. Number three. Mm-mm-mm. Build relationships, not just leads. Hospitality is built on trust. I focus on genuine connections, not transactions. People book with people they know, like, and trust, and your visibility creates that familiarity. So it's all about being familiar, right? It's all about building that brand. It's about building a genuine connection, not about the transactions. Okay, we'll get to that stuff. Okay, you're gonna do that, but this is the initial phase. These are things that people are gonna remember about you and the property that you represent. Because one thing salespeople want to do, and I mentioned this before, you want to be synonymous with your brand. Okay, anytime they think about Russell of Hotels, they should think about, what I do, brand visibility. Okay, hopefully that's what people think, or they think about, me being a meeting professional or hotel site selection. Okay, those are things I hope they think about. Now, someone that's a hotel salesperson, hopefully they think, or a DMO salesperson, hopefully when they think about that destination, they're thinking about them. I'll just give you a case in point, right? An example, if you will. Ernesto, who knows Ernesto Alonso? Okay, Ernesto Alonso is a senior sales manager or ADOS with the Hilton in Universal City, right? Okay, so I used to work with him years ago, and he started doing these things on social media, right? So I'm like, dude, this is what every salesperson should aspire to be. They should aspire to be one with the brand. So when you think about Ernesto, what should you think about? You should think about the Universal Hilton. If you think about the Universal Hilton, you think about Ernesto Alonso. Okay, so it's one the same. I say the same thing for this young lady, Veronica Rivera. She used to be with San Diego. Right now she's with Sacramento. Okay, so when I think about Veronica, I think about Sacramento CVB or the Destination Sacramento. When I think about Destination Sacramento, I think about Veronica because she's kind of the face of the brand. I mean, that's just how she is. I mean, some people will take advantage of the opportunities that they have, and they'll make sure at no cost you will know who they are and who and what they represent. And that's what you want, right? That's exactly what you want. So those are two prime examples of that, of people that are taking ownership and saying, hey, yeah, it's a destination, but hey, you have to buy through me, right? I'm the face, okay? And it's okay, right? It's okay to do that. Everyone could be the face of it, right? Because everyone has different, connections with people. just because I work for one hotel and, say there's three people that work for the same hotel, we all have different connections. Like, say we're all on LinkedIn. Well, I don't want to do it because that person do it. Well, you're appealing to different people. You all have different markets, right? Everyone's in charge of a different market. I'm doing the Smurf market. Or I'm doing the sports market. I do corporate. I do association, right? I do group, or I only do transient. Whatever it is, you have different people that you're appealing to. So look at it from that perspective. Remember, I come from the hotel space, so I know what the heck I'm talking about, right? So see how I just kind of included everybody in there. Didn't matter what markets you have. Didn't matter. That's what I do, right? Hello. So just remember those things. So those are three things that I would do to market the brand, meaning the hotel. But it starts with you. Number one, be visible because you are the brand. Number two, tell the story behind the hotel. And number three, build relationships, not just leads. And this will all be, I'll make sure I put this on my blog, which I hadn't mentioned yet. Just go russellofhotels.com, go to the blog, hit that drop down, bing, and anything that I talk about, any topics that I discuss will be on there. So you don't have to write things down. You don't have to commit it to memory because I'm going to take care of you. I got you. I got you. I got you, babe. I don't know where that came from. I just be pulling stuff out. I don't know where, but you know. Visibility is strategy. Did I mention that already? Okay, so just make sure you remember that. Visibility is strategy. It is not by accident that people see your content. Okay, you are the brand. So just remember that. Remember that. Okay, so we're done on that. We are done on that. Let's see. Now, who am I? Okay, back to that. So this is On Air with Russell of Hotels. Okay, so who's hiring? Who's hiring? Do I have a who's hiring thing on here? No, hold on one second. Let's see. I do have a who's hiring. Okay, boom. You see, I forget that I have certain things here. So who's hiring? And remember, these jobs are in the greater LA area. Okay. Now, if you're in New York, I'm not talking about any jobs at the Javits Center. Okay. I'm not in Manhattan, so I'm not talking about any jobs there. Okay. I'm in Los Angeles. So the greater Los Angeles area, that's where these jobs will be. Okay. So Hilton, Santa Monica, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. And a lot of these jobs are sales specific. So any manager jobs that pop up, I always, make sure I talk about them, right? But they're mostly sales jobs, right? I mean, I don't see a lot of operational jobs on here. So just in case, I'm an old salesperson, but I'm also an old ops person too. So I try to, spread it around, but I only go off of what I find. So, and I find these on Indeed.com as well as hcareers.com. So once again, Hilton in Santa Monica, they're looking for director of sales and marketing. Hilton Woodland Hills, you know what? That hotel is near and dear to my heart. You guys know that, right? That's where I first started in sales. My first sales opportunity was at the Hilton Woodland Hills Warner Center. I was a sales manager. I was green. I was new. I was a Smurf sales manager. That's when I found out what Smurf was. I'm like, what is Smurf? I think Smurf, that the word or the acronym Smurf came out before the Smurfs came out. Remember the Smurfs, the little whatever, purple, green, whatever people, characters or whatever. Smurf was long before that came up. Okay, so just in case you didn't know that. And Smurf stands for social, military, educational, religious, and fraternal. So that's an acronym. Okay, Smurf is an acronym. Okay, sometimes people put an S on the end of it or put another E, Smurfy, and that can be, oh, that's, ethnic, or they put a, they put an S at the end, Smurfs, and that's for sports. Okay, but it's social, military, educational, religious, fraternal. Okay, that's the OG term. Okay, so now people call it, what they call it now, affinity market. Marriott came over with, what's the affinity market, which encompasses all the stuff that I just talked about. But anyway, so now you know. See, a lot of people didn't even know what Smurf stood for. There's some hotel people that don't know what Smurf stands for. They're like, does it stand for that? Really? I didn't know that. So anyway, Okay, so yeah, what was I say? Why did I say that? Because that was my first job. Okay, oh, because Hilton Woodland Hills, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. Okay, so that's a great job, right? So if you're looking for a DOSM position, you need to apply for that. That's with Stanford Hotels. I work for Stanford Hotels. In fact, Stanford Hotels, they own several hotels. They used to own, or they still do. They own the Sacramento Marriott in Sacramento, which is actually in Rancho Cordova. I actually would work there as well. So I transferred from there to the Hilton in Woodland Hills. It was owned by a company called Stanford Hotels, who was owned by Mr. Lawrence Louis, who Mr. Lawrence Louis is the one that helped me out and told me when I was transferring from Sacramento to LA. He told me, he said, "Hey, I understand you're transferring back," because I did a great job for him. Okay, I did. He said, "I understand you're transferring from Sacramento to Los Angeles." He said, "If you give me 6 months, I'll make sure you have a job." I'm like, 6 months? He said, "Yeah, because I'm buying a hotel." I said, "I can't tell anybody anything more than that. I can tell you where it is." And he told me it was in Woodland Hills. I'm like, "Okay, great." So I waited 6 months to get that job. You damn right I did. So I walked in, and when I left Sacramento, I had a job, all because of Lawrence Louis, who owns Stanford Hotels. See, it's all about the story, right? It's all about the back. So you got some background information that no one else knew, right? So it's all about telling the story. Everyone has a story about their career. Nobody got in this industry. No two people got in the industry alike. And transferring from hotels to hotel and stuff like that. How that happened? Well, I just told you a little bit about something that happened, which was huge in my life, right? Because how many people know that I've been to 14 different hotels? I worked in 14 different hotels, with the exception of the one in Sacramento. All of them were in Los Angeles. Okay, basically LA County for the most part. So was that 13? Yeah, 13 hotels in LA, and then one in Sacramento. That makes 14. So, and I just told you the story of how I got from there to here. I didn't tell you the story how I got from here to there, but that's okay. That's for another time. So, okay. Area director of sales, the Marriott Beverly Hills and Cameo Beverly Hills. I'm not familiar with Cameo Hotel, but they're looking for an area director of sales. The Marriott Beverly Hills, I know that property, and the Cameo Beverly Hills. There you go. And then Marriott International, they're looking for a director of sales in Pasadena. So there you go. So those are the jobs. That's the jobs in LA. I'm sorry it took a long time to get there, but you know, you know how we do it. You know how we do it. Okay, so we're almost done here. So I just want to give you some information, just so you were, just in case you were wondering. Once again, the hotel that I talked about today was what? What was the hotel? Boom. It was the Courtyard by Marriott, Pasadena Old Town, 314 guest rooms, 5548. It's located downtown. It's located on Fair Oaks. Okay. So not too far from downtown Pasadena, not too far from I guess the route, the Rose Bowl route. I mean, Pasadena is easy to get around anyway. So we got a little information on that. Let's see. I'm going to give you my contact stuff and how to get a hold of me if I have it. I got to find things on here. Normally I have this stuff kind of more organized, but I keep adding to things instead of getting rid of some stuff. So once again, this is what is it? What is this? Russell of Hotel, on air with Russell of Hotels. Yeah. Live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Okay. Just remember that comes on every Tuesday. This show comes on every Tuesday. My blog. Okay. Go russellofhotels.com. Russellofhotels.com is my website, of course. So just go to the blog section, hit that bing, and all my information will be there. And just check out the entire website. It's not just about looking at the blog. Look at the entire website. There's a lot of information there for you. Any questions at all, you want to just to me directly, russellofhotels.com. That is my email. And all the information is on my website as well. So, and then follow me on IG. If you don't follow me on Instagram, IG, please do so at Russell of Hotels, YouTube at Russell of Hotels, LinkedIn at Russell L. Edmond. So just make sure if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. I just said those things. And this is once again on air with Russell of Hotels. I'm Russell L. Edmond. That's my official name. And of course, I go by the moniker of Russell of Hotels. So, anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If not, I'll be back to do it again next week. So there you go. But no, any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. These things don't have to be that long. Sometimes I make them a little longer, and I didn't have a lot of content, but I did have some content that I think is important for people to understand. If you are on property, and I basically took it from the perspective, I mean, you saw it, you listened to it, of me being back on property. What was I missing? I don't think I was missing much because things have changed, right? Things have evolved, right? The whole social media thing was there then, and people maybe understand it a little better now. But when I was trying to introduce these things, the whole visibility thing, the more social media things, because I knew that was the future, right? I was met with resistance, okay, with ignorant people that didn't know. And I guess ignorance is the right word to use because ignorance is about not knowing something, not being familiar, right? Not willing to educate yourself on what the possibilities would be for your property. Okay. So we've come full circle now, right? But back then, and this is only 7 years ago, right? 7 years ago, where my general manager didn't understand and couldn't even get a grasp of what this social media thing was, what branding was, okay, what true marketing is. We always want to sell, direct sell this, sell that. Well, you got to tell the story. People got to be comfortable with you. People want to do business with people that they know, that they understand, that they know where they come from. I mean, all those different things that they tell a story about, how you got in this industry, right? All those things matter. We're finding that out now that those things matter, right? That where you came from or how you came up in this industry, or maybe some of the pitfalls that you came through. That stuff matters. I mean, people want to hear that. It's because it's all about your story. And what about the hotel? How was that hotel built? Oh my God, who owns that hotel? Those things people want to know. Is it women owned, women owned? Is it minority owned? Whatever it is. Or was it an old bank? It's built in the 20s, it's built in the 30s. People will grasp at anything. Okay. And we have to make sure that we're prepared for that, right? So those are the things. Those are the things that we need to do. Hey, Craig Sullivan, I'm sorry, I just saw your comment. Aloha, Craig. I appreciate you coming on. I just happened to see it. See, when there's a comment, it like lights up or something. The chat kind of like puts a little asterisk by it or whatever. And I wasn't looking at it, so I just happened to see it. So hey, Craig, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on. So yeah, so just remember that visibility is the key. Okay, and people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, okay, is important, right? So there you go. That is it. That's all I got. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Once again, this is Tuesday. This comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. It's on air with Russell of Hotels. It's a live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. So feel free to have your questions. And remember, you can always make comments. It's all about the engagement. You guys saw that. I put your comments on the screen in real time so the world can see, right? So, and this is good. I'm glad that people kind of came on, even if it was, questions about, me being distorted on this live, right? It's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm using Restream, and Restream does, what? One thing I'm finding out, all the platforms have some issues. Okay. No one platform is doing 100% of what anyone wants, right? So I wish I can take a piece of this and a piece of that one and a piece of another one and put them all together, but that's not realistic, right? So it's a work in progress, and each one of them costs money, right? They're not all free. Okay. These platforms are not free. Okay. So anyway, there you go. Enough of my complaining about the platforms. But it's all about the content. It's not about the platform. It's about the content. Okay. Is the content good? Okay. So anyway, so there you go. So that is it. Once again, stay visible, Salespeople, be visible, let people know who you are, what you do, how you can help them, and then talk about your hotel. Then talk about the rates, dates, and space. Okay, so but tell the story. Tell them about you. How'd you get started in this thing? When did what's your story? How'd you get in hospitality or hotels? Did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? Those are questions you can ask, right? Oh, those are questions I ask. So anyway, that's it. Have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. And remember, On Air comes on every Tuesday. Daily check-in comes on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day. So make sure you wait and see, not wait, but look forward to seeing the daily check-in.